folks, it's Swank Ivy with another Letters to an Asexual. This is number 91. Today I'm going to read you one from about 10 years-ish ago, a conversation that I had with someone who was clearly well-meaning but not very good at paying attention to anything I said on OkCupid. And this video will cover a little bit about how friendship is spun as something that is disappointing. So this is the conversation that I had with this fellow, and he opens with, "Hey you," with a smiley face. So I replied, "Hey me." And this is back in the day before you had to match with someone for them to talk to you. Nowadays, I very rarely reply to anyone because if they have ignored my profile and refused to follow the directions where I asked them to send me something of substance besides just, "Hey," or "What'd you do this weekend?" or "You're hot," or whatever the hell they want to say. I'm not going to bother to get their hopes up by matching them just so I can tell them this is inappropriate. So nowadays that format just has made it so that these conversations don't really happen anymore. But in whatever year this was, like 10-ish years ago, this was the kind of thing that I sometimes answered. So after the "hey you" and "hey me" conversation, he says, "Yes, LOL, how are you?" So I looked at his profile and he was a 51% match, which is really terrible. So I tried to head this off at the pass, and I said, "I guess I'm doing all right. Did you have a message besides hey? I'm not trying to be unfriendly, but I get an awful lot of messages from people who never say more than, 'Hey, LOL, what's up? Yeah, so how are you?' You probably figured it out from my profile if you read it, but I like content, so." And he begins to misfire spectacularly. "Yeah, I did read your profile, and I, too, am looking for someone to spend time with. No games. The mature ones are usually older than I." That doesn't sound like anything I wrote, of course. So, and he was 22, and I was 33 at the time. So he's trying to mac on hot older ladies, I guess. So I replied to him and said, "I'm not really looking for someone to spend time with. I kind of have a shortage of time. But I really like having good conversations. And good conversations usually lead to good friendships and whatnot. I don't like the endless circle of contentless conversations, and they usually do start like ours did. A lot of what's up and what's going on and LOL and so, how you doing?" But on the other hand, a lot of people start with short messages because so many folks on this site don't write back, and they don't want to waste their time contacting someone who isn't paying attention. That's why I ask. So if there's something you think we have in common, or something interesting you want to talk about that led you to strike up a conversation with me, I'll listen. So at this point, he's probably not read my profile pretty much at all, and he's assuming a lot of stuff about what all women want because he thinks we're some kind of collective of fembots that all want to hear the same things, so he starts throwing out lines. He says, "By spend time, I mean relationship. I am capable of minting intelligent conversations." Minting. "I messages you because you seem very mature and responsible. I like the fact that you're a writer. It shows creativity and open-mindedness. I adore that feature in women." So I guess he probably thought that all the nods to my maturity would feel flattering, but they don't. I replied, "If you're talking about relationship in the traditional way, as in romance, and are talking to me because you're thinking our conversation has the possibility of turning into one of those, then I'm having trouble believing the part where you said you read my profile. Here's the problem. You wrote, 'I too am looking for someone to spend time with,' and then you wrote, 'spend time with' means have a relationship with. That doesn't go with 'I too.' I am not looking for that, not even in the slightest. So that's not a me too. Are you saying you read my profile and you missed that, or is this a really big misunderstanding?" So he keeps bravely missing the point, and responds with this. I didn't miss that. I just worded it in a way that makes sense to me. I wouldn't message you looking for anything less, because your bio is very specific. Spending time with someone, in my definition, means taking things slow and enjoying each other's company. You know what taking things slow means. It means he's expecting it to go somewhere very specific, but he thinks I need to hear that we'll take it slow. He still thinks it's going to the same place. He's still not comprehending that I said otherwise. So I said, I like enjoying company too, but I'm not looking for any kind of romance. Not now, not after a long time, not taking things slow. Toward that end, never. And because a bunch of your messages have been vague while suggesting you are looking for a romance, eventually or not, I'm not sure what that has to do with me, unless you're hoping to go in that direction with me, beginning with the vehicle of these messages. My bio is very specific, about not wanting any kind of sexual or romantic relationship. I'm not following what you mean by, I wouldn't message you looking for anything less. Less than what? And what constitutes less? So he finally realizes at this point he's not going to get any. And now it's time to treat me like he really wants to treat women unless he's sexually attracted to them. At the point where he realizes that he's not going to get in their pants, suddenly just everything goes to hell. He replies with this. All right, I believe your expectations are a bit high, and maybe that's why you've been a member so long, LOL. So I again point out what he has been willfully ignorant of up to this point. My expectations? For what? My expectations have included, all along, straight up, that I am only here for friendships. I do not want a romantic or sexual relationship ever, and I am upfront about that. In my time here since 2005, I have met over 50 people, many of whom are still good friends with me, and we hang out all the time. That is exactly what I was here for, and what I continue to be here for. Nothing else. So what about my continued attendance here makes you think I'm somehow failing to fulfill my expectations? And why did you try to use it to make fun of me? I'm assuming I'll continue to maintain a profile here unless the site goes under, and I'll continue meeting the cool people I've been successfully connecting with all along. You seem terribly slow to catch on if you actually think I've been a member so long because I've failed to find what I wanted. So now it gets even worse. And it's time for him to sulk and also wildly misinterpret a bunch of things I said. Probably he was either reading too fast or just isn't good at reading comprehension in general and translates that into anger. He says this, make it fun for you. Is there a massive sign on my profile that says I make every conversation fun? No, you're prejudging me, asserting I'm slow. You don't know me or anything I've gone through in my life. Your profile says you've met over 50 people that ended up being friends. Ever stop and think maybe it's me? I'm sorry, I am completely turned off. As a psychology major, you are one with unrealistic expectations, and you'll never be satisfied with any good person that's offered you a chance. Ever wonder why you're 33 and single? I'm 22 and single, but at least I've been single for a week and attempted to be kind to you. I feel completely attacked by you. Good luck. My response will speak for itself. This is why I said you're slow to catch on. I want to be single forever. I'm sorry you're having such a hard time processing that, but it is true. I said so absolutely obviously in my first paragraph. You continue to belittle me for only finding friends, even though I'm repeatedly, specifically telling you that's all I want. I don't ever wonder why I am 33 and single. No, I imagine it's because I want to be. If it's something I specifically want, it's not really something I have to devote time to wondering about. And now you're saying I'm attacking you? Wow. Well, keep it up. I recommend actually reading and processing what people say, instead of pretending you understand. I didn't hide any of this. And you're acting like it's a revelation that I want to be single. I'm an aromantic asexual. That's what aromantic asexuals generally do. Stay single because they want to, and because they aren't attracted to other people. It don't get it, not willing to process it, not willing to believe you're not the exception, just plain not interested in imagining other people don't all think like you and want what you want, then good luck, dude. If you have trouble processing what I just said, all I can say is my profile, which you claim to have read and liked, spells all of this out in painstakingly simple language. My mailbox is no longer available to you, so if you have questions, I refer to you to what I've already written about myself. Ta! Note, I didn't say to make it fun for me. I said you made fun of me. Maybe your first language isn't English. That would explain some of the really severe miscommunications here. And if that is the case, I have better understanding, but still don't excuse you for pretending to have processed what I said. And I should note, of course, that I didn't actually think he was not a native English speaker. I just wanted to put that out there just in case that was happening there. But more often, the people that I've talked to that are not native English speakers make different kinds of like miscommunications or different choices in grammar and whatnot. So that wasn't actually something I thought was going on. But, and also I guess I should point out that I oversimplified for obvious reasons, but I know that aromantic asexual people don't necessarily avoid all kinds of committed relationships. Personally, for me, I'm not interested in like a queer platonic relationship or anything like that, but I do like friends, and that's all I'm trying to find on there. Another 10 years later, and I'm still on that site. Because of the changing of the mechanics, like I mentioned earlier, the conversations are a little different, but I still meet people from there. I still have great conversations. I still have good connections. I still occasionally meet with someone on there that it's just educational. You know, somebody is interested in the stuff that I do, either my writing related stuff or my asexuality related activism. And, you know, those are conversations worth having. But, you know, I'm still making some pretty good friendships there, and I'm still not looking for some other nebulous thing to just happen through that website. I know what I want, and I am still able to find it. I have no shortage of attention on that website. Anyway, I guess I should wrap up by saying that I have encountered that whole, haha, you're still single at whatever your age is, and friendships are all that you seem to be able to make in your life, that constitutes failure. And I'm sure that if you've seen my other videos, you've seen me talk about how important I think friendship is, especially for those of us who don't have traditional romantic relationships and choose not to go into the couplehood and some of the other like variations on committed relationships, that friendships, for those of us who want them, are so important. And even for those of us who do have primary partners or, you know, do romantic relationships more traditionally, asexual or not, friendships really get such a bad rap in our society, like as if they're what you settle for if you couldn't find something real. Like, if someone won't have sex with you or someone won't be in a romance with you, that's what you have to settle for. And I think that's really sad, because I think a lot of people, especially those who have kind of thrown themselves into either their career or their family and have somehow gotten really isolated from their social circles from when they were younger, they don't know how to make friends anymore. They don't have the opportunities they used to have, and they struggle with loneliness. And as a person who has continued to put the work in to my long-standing friendships and is still open to forming new friendships, I find that to be just a really heartbreaking thing that happens to a lot of adults when we get older. And I mean, a lot of people who have seen their friendships just go by the wayside are sad about it. They don't think, gosh, it sure is good that I got past that phase of my life where all I had was friendships, or that the important relationships in my life were just friendship, because what use is that? I mean, it's everything. It's it's a wonderful addition to your life, even if you already have a lot of love in your life, even if you already have a primary partner, even if you're looking for romance, but you find someone that you wouldn't have a romance with, but they're a good friend. I'm just so tired of seeing friendship get such a bum rap in our society. I'm so tired of seeing it with the word just in front of it. And frankly, I'm insulted at the idea of this guy seeing my website or seeing my profile on OkCupid and say, you ever wonder if all that you've ever had was 50 plus friendships? Ever wonder if it's you? And I'm like, it is me, and it's a good thing. It's exactly what I want. And anyway, that about wraps up my thoughts on that. I hope that you enjoyed this video and that you enjoyed my cameo of my little ace dress. It's very cute. You probably can't see the bottom of it because it's cut off, but it's got these cool little ace flag things on it, so. Well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.